Could next season be the last season we get to say, you don't mess with the Sochan? What is up, San Antonio Spurs fans? Welcome to TSR Sports. I hope you had a great weekend, and what a crazy weekend in sports. Over in the NBA, the playoff games were terrific. You had Clippers fans upset, you had Lakers fans upset, Pistons fans upset, and then the NFL draft. Shedeur Sanders, a top 5 projected pick, drops all the way down in the 5th round. Crazy times indeed. But let's get to the point of this video. Is it make or break time for Jeremy Sochan? If he doesn't perform next season, could the Spurs move on? Let's get into the article from Air Alamo, and of course, I will go over my thoughts on that in just a few moments. By the way, what's going on here? Air Alamo seems to be doing daily content on the Spurs, but Pounding the Rock, not so much. So, I try to divvy it up 50-50 if I can, but Pounding the Rock hasn't been covering the Spurs as much. Anyway, Jeremy Sochan is the most controversial player on the team among the Spurs fan base. Yeah, it's very divided, but I would say Keldon Johnson, who's been getting traded every year for the last couple of years, or every season, and Devin Vassell giving him a run for his money for sure, especially Devin with his performance being less than expected this season and that huge contract. Let's get back to Jeremy. Half of Spurs Nation loves him, and the other half would have preferred Brian Wright to pick another player 3 years ago in the 2022 NBA draft. I've been very candid with you guys. During that draft, Jalen Duren was available, and I was rooting for Jalen Duren. When we took Sochan, I was kind of like, okay, but he's not who I wanted 9th overall. Air Alamo says they can't say that they blame them, though they lean towards the side of appreciating Sochan's game. I hail from a time when not everyone was a supreme offensive player, but they still brought value to the team. Okay? Sochan needs a breakout year, and I agree with that statement immediately. Let's talk about Jeremy. Last season was Sochan's 3rd year in the league. He averaged fewer minutes, 25.3, than he did during his sophomore campaign, 29.6. That's not a good sign. I agree. I'm sure that the organization still holds him in a fairly high regard, but it's fair to question whether it's to the same level as was when they drafted him. I think that is a fair question. He defends the best wing defenders in the league, and it does it successfully. Advanced stats prove that. Yes, he is a very good defender. I would say second best defender on the team after Wemby. I'm sure if that's wrong, you guys will drop the stats down in the comments below, but I'm pretty sure he ranks out as our second best defender. But his lack of shooting ability got him sent to the bench to play with the secondary unit, negating an advantage the Spurs should have on defense when he lines up next to Victor Wembanyama. As great of a defender as he is, he doesn't get to guard the opponent's best player to start the game if he's coming off the bench. No, he's guarding somebody on the second unit. That's a detriment to his value on the team because they need him to do that to be at their best. I agree. In his second year, he shot 30.8% from 3. That number stayed the exact same this season after an offseason where he reportedly put in a ton of work on his shooting mechanics. His shooting mechanics still look broken and slow as molasses. Nothing's really changed there. Ultimately, the colorfully haired Hooper must improve his offensive game in order for the Spurs to get the most out of his best trait, his defense. If he doesn't do that in the last year of his contract, it could easily end up being his final year in a silver and black uniform. All right, we got a lot to go over here. For Jeremy Sochan, it was kind of weird, Spurs fans. It really was a tale of 2 seasons. As a starter, he started 23 games, was getting 30 minutes a game, and he averaged 14, 8, and 3. Acceptable numbers, correct? On shooting splits of 52, 23, and 75. He then went to the bench after a plethora of injuries and maybe lack of shooting. And off the bench, he was out of position playing backup center often playing center Sochan, which, not fortunately for Jeremy, 2 years in a row he's played out of position. Point guard Sochan, anybody? Coming off the bench, he played in 31 games. He played in only 22 minutes a game and averaged 10, 6, and 2. And he had shooting splits of 55, 38, and 63. So oddly enough, his shooting while playing, in game went up, but his shooting when stationary at the line went down. So that is what it is. Jeremy does bring some good things to the team, guys. He is a good defender, and it was nice to see his 2-point field goal percentage go up. It was a career best 59% last season. He was dunking the ball more, making more of those short jumpers. And sure, frustratingly, he missed missed quite a few easy baskets right at the rim. A problem he really had in his sophomore year. So yes, it happened last season, but not as much. But there are negatives. His three-point shot is not developed at all. And the fact that it's identical to what it was the previous season at .308, I'm actually kind of shocked that it didn't move up or down. It's literally identical. He had a career low in minutes. They mentioned his minutes went down on Air Alamo from last season to this season. No, he averaged a career low. The 25.3 was slightly less than his rookie season. And his free throw shooting dipped too, from about 77% to around 70%. Kind of puts us in a tough spot, Spurs fans. I like Jeremy, but right now at this moment, I can't see a starting lineup of Jeremy, Stephon Castle, and De'Aaron Fox. None of those guys are great three-point shooters. We need one, preferably both, between Jeremy and Steph to at least become league average three-point shooters. Can you get to 35%? Steph was under 30%. Jeremy hovers around 30%. Well, I'm not asking for Rome to be built in a day. I'm not asking both players or hoping both players get to 40% or higher in the offseason, but just respectable, where teams aren't just looking at you like, yeah, go ahead, man, shoot. Clang, yep, that's what I thought. I mean, going out there and going 1 of 4, 1 of 5, 1 of 6, 1 of 7 from 3 on a nightly basis is just not going to do it. So to answer the question, is it make or break time for Jeremy Sochan? I say yes. If he is injured, or I'm sorry, my phone is ringing, and I don't know if you can hear it. It's a Nicolas Cage yelling, "Not the bees, not the bees." I don't think the mic's picking it up, but if it is, there's a little surprise for you. I can't get to my phone; it's too far away. Anyway, yes, I do think it's a make or break for Jeremy. If he's injured a lot, or he regresses from last season, his shooting splits take a dip, the points, the rebounds, everything drops, then I don't see the Spurs giving him a new contract next season. Or they extend his contract, give him a new contract, and then do some kind of side-in trade for Jeremy. I hope it works out for him. I root for all our guys. I want to be candid with you guys. I may criticize, or maybe not criticize, but point out, however you want to word it. We'll go criticize, call out poor play, poor production from Jeremy, from Devin, Kellner, whoever it may be, whoever's not performing well, Steph's poor three-point shooting. I am rooting for every one of our guys to do well. Always. And he's a 9th overall pick from 2022. And right now, that whole draft class has giant question marks on it. Jeremy Sochan, Malachi Branham, Blake Wesley, all their contracts are extended into this next season, so they should be all back unless one or all are traded. But it's really a make or break for all three of them. And I do want to close with this, Spurs fans, because I think you're going to see the Giannis rumors start popping up. And the reason being is it appears Damian Lillard tore his Achilles last night. And there's going to be a lot of questions if he was rushed back too soon from his blood clot. I say yes. Wemby was shut down at the All-Star break. Dame was shut down for, a month? And with an Achilles tear, that's going to cost him all of next season. And I believe he's on the hook for $50+ million with the Bucks. So no Dame next season. They're going to get bounced from the first round, more than likely from the Pacers, barring a miraculous comeback. And I think you're going to see that Giannis is going to want to get traded. Rumors just start flying. The Spurs are going to come up. And I would love to have Twin Towers 2.0, but I don't see how that possibly works with Fox's upcoming contract, Giannis's contract. He makes over 50, so 2 players making over 50, plus Wemby's big rookie contract extensions coming up. I just don't think that's going to work under the new cap. It sounds good on paper, but we're not going to go millions and millions way above all those thresholds and levels and be able to afford all those guys. It's just not feasibly possible. I don't think it is. Spurs fans, let me know. Let me know in the comments. Is it make or break for Jeremy Sochan? I think the community here is going to be split 50-50. I think there's going to be somebody that say Jeremy all the way, and then there's going to be other 50%. Get rid of them and move on. Appreciate y'all. Hit the thumbs up, support the channel, subscribe to become part of our awesome Spurs community. I thank you, and as always, go Spurs, go.
Go Spurs, go!